All right, y'all, we give praise, esteem, and honor to living Elohim. In the name of Yahudah HaMashiach this day. Pick this up in John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. If another shall come in his own name, him you will believe. How can you receive honor one from another and not honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you, but there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Praise be to Yahudah. Psalm 78. Stinks. I hope you don't think that means to pull out some vittles, because it doesn't. Psalm 78 and 67. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, but chose the tribe of Yahudah, the Mount Zion, which he loved. He built his sanctuary like the earth which he established forever. He chose David also his servants and took him from the sheepfolds, from following the ewes, great with young. He brought him to feed Jacob his people and Yasharal his inheritance. And he fed them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. You know what? This is mentioned. Come over here to Matthew 15. What you just was mentioning before we came on air. I done told you this before, right? This is the difference. Let's tell you like this here, right? When you're a young boy, you don't really start to realize it. And I'm just telling you this here because from what they seen, I'm telling you this, why my boy got on top of that bridge, jumped up off of it. You know what I'm talking about? When you start coming up with that pressures of manhood and that underlying implication that you must produce and you must find a way to produce, and then you begin to look at that people are going to be dependent on you. Now, see, you mentioned something, somebody saying, I made X amount of dollars, but I ain't got nothing to show for it. See, that can be depressing. But see, when you're dealing with people in the word, see, it'd be the reverse. See, you doing something and ain't got nothing to show for it, and you still think you good. See, come over here to Matthew 15. $15 and 1, if you would. See, then came to Yahushua scribes and Pharisees, which are Jerusalem, saying, why do you disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of Elohim by your tradition? For Elohim commanded, saying, honor your father and mother. And he that cursed father and mother, let him die to death. But you say, whosoever shall to father or mother a gift, and by whosoever you might be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother. Thus you have made the commandment of Elohim of none effect by your tradition, because that he shall be free is not there. So it ain't matter you free, because they trying to infer that you free from the instruction. The master just trying to tell you, you just tell a nigga they can do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue what he said. You hypocrites. Well did Isaiah prophesy you, saying, this people draw near unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me, but in vain they do worship me, teaching doctrines, the commandments of men. Now see, come over here to Matthew 7, because that's where you'll look at it, what in the end result, because you're going to say, I did all of these things, but I ain't got nothing to show for it. That's why you got to watch the brews that tell you we doing this and we doing that, because eventually they not going to have nothing to show for it because you did it for nothing. See, I'm telling you, right, I mentioned this y'all last night. He just showed something that just is just a continuing what I mentioned last night. A lot of these niggas is messed up because your mammy raised you and you got hoe in your blood. You know what I'm talking about? And you ain't never heard nobody look you dead in your face and tell you stop being a hoe. I ain't talking about your mama telling you that. I ain't talking about your grandma telling you that. I'm talking about another man telling you niggas stop wallowing around in a pool of mud, get your funky behind up, get your mind together, and get your stuff in line. Because a lot of the stuff that these niggas be whining and crying about, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm talking about? Is that you're sorry, you're lazy, and you want somebody to coddle you and hug you. Your wife ain't your mama, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? If you got a problem with what your mama ain't do for you, you need to go see a licensed professional. You know what I'm saying? Because then he didn't. A lot of people could be in the word. That don't mean they got the skill to be able to help you understand why you messed up in the head. You know what I'm talking about? And when I'm talking about messed up in the head, like really, like, you know what I'm talking about? You got to be in the right mind space to listen to somebody, because some niggas can't deal with you dropping their load on them. They can't handle it. I'm talking about real stuff like, hey man, when I was 7, somebody played with my butt. I ain't saying that to be funny, because I done had men tell me I was molested as a boy. Now, if you don't have the mental capability to be able to even deal with something like that, because most people, they going to look at you, I don't know what to say to that. Guess what? That doesn't make him not a brother. That doesn't make him not a that. That man's not trained to be able to know how to deal with that. How many niggas is it? How many of y'all done had somebody come tell, I'm talking about a man, come tell you somebody touched him? You know how difficult that is for a man to even admit that somebody touched him? Much less tell somebody about it. You know what I'm talking about? But most dudes got a problem because their mama emasculated them. And it stripped their confidence, it stripped their ability to lead, and they had to rebuild their masculinity. See, that's something that women don't understand. Now, she mentioned this the other day. Some of y'all mamas stripped your femininity and sweet dispositions away. You know what I'm talking about? Because some of y'all was nice, sweet little girls. Now you're just sour, nasty women. You know what I'm talking about? And you be wondering why dudes on you see these dudes online crying about that. But you'd have to look at, well, what did your mama do? We didn't have that conversation before. When I asked, did your mama emasculate you? You don't understand how much of a negative effect that can have on a young boy. That's why I tell women, don't yell at them boys. You yelling at that boy, you emasculating him. You snatching his confidence away, because he gonna grow up and think that's how a woman supposed to talk to him, and it's acceptable for him to get done like that. You know what I'm talking about? If you can't communicate to that boy without yelling, wait on his dad. You know what I'm talking about? And as we always mention all the time, Jesse Lee say it all the time. A lot of niggas mad with their daddy because they ain't protect them from their mama. And you walk around with this here, you ain't forgiving people. You carrying that junk around. Like I told you last night, man. Man, once you hit 30, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. Get some help. You know what I'm talking about? Get some help. You hit 30, you still got problems you had when you were 21, you need professional help. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't being funny or nothing, boy. Get some help. That junk ruining your life. You know what I'm talking about? We already know this here in life, man. You carry stuff with you from your childhood. You know what I'm talking about? If your childhood was messed up, then you need to talk to somebody about it, man. Period. If you can't afford a licensed professional, then you need to find the most skillful person you know and, hey, help me wade through this here. But you need to do something about that. It's gonna destroy your life. Shalom, man. Praise the Lord. It's gonna destroy your life. Like this here, man. See, again, everybody think the word just gonna have some magical elixir. That junk gonna show you it's a mirror. If you contrary to it, it's gonna show exactly why you contrary to it. The thing that you don't want to look at is the mindset that leads you to be contrary to it. See, that's what you don't want to talk about. That's what you don't want to look at. It ain't just, I got some sins. Why you got them sins? It's because you think the way that you think. Well, why do you think the way that you think? Now, once you get shown why you think the way that you think, it's on you to stop thinking like that. See, that go back to, you see that transition to being born again? You like that, didn't you? That's what they call in TV producing a segue. I ain't never been in TV, though. Matthew chapter 7, verse 21. I didn't say it like, listen, because I'm going to keep mentioning that jump, man, just because that was my boy. I know that boy took himself out for a multitude of reasons, but that pressure of manhood was the biggest one. That's something that every one of you women in here will never understand. You know what I'm talking about? You shouldn't try to understand it. You'll never understand it. You don't have that type of pressure. You were not born where it was inherently implied that you must produce, and that majority of your value is going to be built in your ability to produce. And that if you don't produce, you will be deemed from the mass majority of society, no matter what culture that you are a part of, as being deemed useless and worthless. You don't have that type of pressure on your shoulders. You have no idea what that's like. Y'all get to play, I want to be independent and this, that, there, and the third, and still in the same breath say, I want to be a housewife and stay at home and don't have to work. A man never has that option. That's never an option for him that he cannot produce. The only way he can have that option is if he got a dumb broad stupid enough to take care of him. But then her biology is going to kick in after a period of time, and she's going to be disgusted by him. Because the first thing going to come out of her mouth is, I ain't taking care of no grown man. He's supposed to be taking care of me. So you don't have that pressure. You'll never understand. You'll be like, well, why the dude kill themselves and go to drinking and this, that, there, and the third? Because you don't understand that pressure. He's responsible for everybody, not just his wife, not just his kids. He's responsible for his brethren. He's responsible for his community. You don't have that responsibility. Y'all pick up that responsibility as it suits you. That's why you see the women pop up. Oh, Black Lives Matter and all this old other stuff. We the backbone of the community. Lies you done told. Backbones is a sign of what? Strength. What community has a woman ever held up? She gonna duck under the pressure and ask the man to hold it up, as she should. Ain't nobody asking her to. You know what I'm saying? But that's why they niggas weak and be crying. Type of grown rusted nigga run to his wife crying all the time. They gets disgusted. I bet not never hear about none of you niggas running crying to your wife all the time. I'm gonna rank on you. Yeah, I said it. If you don't give me a valid reason why you got some mental instability, well, I'm clowning you, boy, because you acting like a hoe. And we ain't going for that over here. No man John is allowed. You know what I'm talking about? It's different if you come crying to us. I ain't going to laugh at you till after you get over it. Then I'm going to laugh at you because you done beat it. You know what I'm saying? Remember the time you used to come around here crying? You know what I'm saying? Then but while you're in there, we ain't going to laugh at you. I am. I am. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he ain't gonna laugh at you if it's serious. Now, if you run here crying, man, I lost my job, we'll get another. Well, I mean, what else is there to be said? No, I mean, all jokes aside, man, you're gonna sit down with him and you're gonna formulate a plan on how you can win. Sometimes it's just to do what? To be focused on the goal. Brother just put this up here today. That man said instead of worrying about this here, he said look at the end result, and then you can begin to look at what got to be done to get to the end result. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're just looking at, oh man, this can't get here instead of focusing on, I'm trying to get A. Now your mind can go to, I need to do boom, boom, boom to get A. Makes it easier. You know what I'm saying? But it's a mindset thing. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of these niggas hold, man. I'm telling you, boy, them niggas might as well sit down and pee. It's a whole lot of dudes. They need somebody to go to the store. They need some of you ladies to take them to the store and take them down the aisle where the Tampax at so you can show them which ones to purchase. You know what I'm talking about? Matthew 7:21. Muffin man, what's up, boy? Not everyone that say unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of Shamahim, but he to do the will of my Abba, which is in Shamahim. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works. And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. Everything you did was for nothing. And that is what makes men the most depressed, is when they have put in work, no matter what it is that they done, and they ain't got nothing to show for it. See, it's a difference for a woman. If you do something you don't get nothing out of it, you have the mind of a child. I'll just jump over here and do something else. And I'll just jump over here and do something else. But men do things specifically to get a desired outcome. And if he does not get the desired outcome, that weighs heavily on him. He ain't looking at it, oh, that was a life experience. That was a learning experience. I wasted time and resources on something that was not fruitful. Men don't do things for kicks and giggles. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you see the difference if a man relationship don't work versus a woman. He did not enter into that to talk about, I learned a lot from being with you. No, he did that because he wanted a desired outcome. If he didn't get the desired outcome, that was a waste of his time. He does not see that any other way. Because to see it any other way. That's why men get depressed like that when that stuff happens. Because dang, I just wasted time and resources and energy that I could have invested somewhere else. So y'all don't have it. You have a laissez-faire attitude. I give me a new penis. It's no big deal. Somebody else would take me out on a date. I gave 3 niggas my womb. So what? Do you know what I'm saying? Nigga put a seed in the wrong womb. That nigga depressed for 15 years. 15. Not the whole 18. 18 like this here. He like, shoot, that nigga grown. I ain't got to deal with him. 15, he see us downhill. You know what I'm talking about? Because it don't be the child support he depressed about. It's the constant day-to-day interaction I got to have with a bald-headed scallywag heifer. Man, most of these hoes ain't raising no kid that's going to college. Yeah, I ain't really got to deal with her as often. I don't have to really go through her to talk to Majid.
She can talk back.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, now with cell phones it's really a little bit younger. You know what I'm saying? But when you hit that 10th, 11th grade range, if you actively involved, you know it's downhill that I don't really have to have as much interaction with the mother. If she's a pure, unadulterated, scallywag, ghetto snipe slut bucket. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't mean because she's sleeping around. Because some women hey man, it's pure D hell dealing with them. And you regretting that you put your... See, a lot of women thinking like, dudes don't feel that way. Shoot, you'll be surprised. Some of the women that y'all know got kids, you thinking that woman upset because she got a baby from this nigga. This nigga mad he got a baby from her. The difference is that men don't walk around complaining about who they got cheering from. They just bite that one and go on about their life. You ain't gonna get too many dudes in a circle talking about their baby mama. Like women sit around and talk about the father they cheering. Men don't do that because nigga don't want to hear. You shouldn't have nutted in her. That's what a nigga gonna tell you. That's what he gonna tell you. What you hit a raw for then. Y'all ain't gonna sit there and be like, so you just let the nigga keep hitting you raw for 10 years, huh? What you thought was gonna happen? See, y'all ain't gonna do that. Y'all gonna be like, girl, I know, girl. He ain't about nothing. Nigga like, you shouldn't have been skeeting in a boy. Okay, that's not, we ain't talking about outliers. We talking about the majority. The majority is not gonna hold no women to task. Boy, don't cut the crap. Boy, women don't hold each other to task for their bad decision makings and failures in life. They just don't do it. If they did it, then these hoes wouldn't be failing at the level that they fail. And you say the group, I'm talking about the mass majority of women. They do not hold each other accountable for the faulty decision making that they make. Because men can't hold them accountable. And when other women try to hold them accountable, they go off on them. Shoot, that's why your favorite doggone TV therapist, what her name is, Rhonda, that's why she quit her job. She said, I got tired of dealing with you hoes because I couldn't hold you accountable. She said, you niggas still are out of order. You know what I'm talking about? This woman said about 10, 15 years ago that you was out of order, and you're still out of order. So that means if you're out of order, you're dysfunctional, and you're chaotic, that means ain't nobody holding you to task. Because if you did, 80% of our children would be born out of wedlock if women was really sitting around holding each other accountable. You cut the crap, what it is, the proof is in the pudding. That's a lie. The proof is in the pudding. That's a lie that women are holding each other accountable. We can look out here and see it. All these doggone women walk around here with nigga hats on. Ain't no way in the world no woman from a different generation would even allow a young woman to feel comfortable enough to walk out the house with a nigga hat on. You know what I'm talking about? Loud, disrespectful, rude. Makes no sense. We know that ain't happening. That's what y'all want to tell y'allself. But I know better. I know better. Muffin man, what's your problem, boy? You know the biggest way we know women don't hold each other accountable because you don't discipline your churn. Because they churn out here reckless and wild, rude and disrespectful. And you give your womb away to low-value niggas. Give it away. Am I lying? Shoot. I ain't saying that junk because it feel good. Nigga, that junk sad. That junk ain't good. Nigga, that junk sad. Come on back over here to Judge Chat. Hey, that junk real sad. That junk the downfall of a community. When you breed with low-level people. Judges 8 and 18. Hey, Abigail. What you doing? Why you doing it, Abigail? Judges 8 and 18. Then he said unto Zebah and Zalmunna, what manner of men were they whom you slew at Tabor? They answered and said, as you were. They each one resembled the son of a king. Come over here to Romans chapter 8, if you would. Let's go on and flush you down the toilet. That's what you want. You want a toilet flush. Romans 8 and 26. Also, the reason why I mention that is that we know that women don't hold each other accountable because of the young men that have grown up and that are extremely unaccountable for their actions. You know what I'm talking about? All us young men, right? All us men, right? Most of us was raised by your mama. Now, how many of your peers you know were extremely accountable for their conduct? Because where you going to get that from? It's not in a woman's nature to be accountable. Because accountability is a part of discipline, and discipline is a part of structure and order. And women are not structurally orderly creatures by nature. So if your daddy wasn't there, where did you get it from? So you're not going to get that to your son because a mass majority of women are having kids with disorderly and unstructured men. You know what I'm talking about? So the child is not going to get it from their father, whether the parents are married or not. So he grows up to be this way. That's why what we were talking about the other day, that's why you find niggas who don't want to be around a group of men who gonna say, nigga, what is you doing? You know what I'm talking about? That's why they'll rather click up with a bunch of niggas. That's why I say you got hoe in your blood. You got hoe in your blood. Man, look here, right? Dude in the group just asked all the men, what did your mother teach you about dealing with women? And the lady cried, because I said, my mom ain't teach me nothing. Other than you going to work too hard to give your money to a woman because she cock her legs open. I said, what you crying for? I feel like that was good information. You know why that was good information? Because she was telling you that don't give somebody something without causing them to earn it because all you desire is some physical gratification. You know what I'm saying? Because you worried about getting some physical gratification and you forgot all the work that you put in to acquire what you have. So you're going to give it away for an opportunity at sex. Basically what my mama was telling me, it don't be no trick. Make her earn what you give her. Most people don't tell you that. Man, for most part. We're talking about this last night, man. You can't give your strength to no woman like that. That's not the way of kings if you desire to be one. Can't do it. And guess what? And the reason I mentioned that for a reason, because what did he just say every one of them resembled? The son of a who? And what did that book say? Don't give your strength under who? She said that's not meat for who? Kings. She didn't just say for men. Come over here, Proverbs 31. You see it for yourself. See, we talking about if you're going to be a king. I ain't talking about if you want to be a regular guy. That's a different conversation. Tubby man. Come here, Tubby man. 31. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. Tubby man. Come here, boy. Let me holler at you, boy. You don't want to like that, boy? Let me holler at you, boy. What's up with you, boy? What's up with you, boy? Huh? What you got going on, boy? What you got going on, boy? 31:1, Proverbs. Here you go. The words of King Lemuel. The prophecy that his mother taught him. Who told it to him? Mama told it to him. What, my son? What, the son of my womb? What, the son of my vows? So that means Mom Dukes made a votive offering about her boy. Who else made a votive offering about her boy? That's Samuel mama. Hannah made a votive offering about her boy. Say, give not your strength unto women, nor your ways to that which destroy kings. See, we concluding with him loving Yahudah and Mount Zion, which he chose, because he talking about God giving your way to ways that destroy kings. Let's look at way and destroy. First and foremost, you know, ways is Darak. Destroy is Maha. Things that cause to exterminate. But most importantly, to blot out from memory. The word is Makah, mean, Kot, and Hey. Say, hey, don't mess around and behold the fact that you'll be separated because of your chaos. You know what I'm talking about? Don't be shocked when you get wiped out because you've been separated, because behold, we see that you've been separated because of sin. Now remember, that's caused to blot out of memory. Exodus 32 on the house. Renee. Come here, Renee. Exodus 32 and 27. No, come here. Hey. Muffin Man, I heard you wanted to stay at my house. Oh, that got you to get a little smile, huh? So I didn't want to see if you were faking. See, I know what to say to see if you were faking. And then you hit me with a little smirk. You want to stay at my house? You want to stay at my house? If you're going to keep looking like that, you can't stay at my house, because I heard you kicked your shoes off and said you wasn't going nowhere. Did that happen? Because if you're going to stay at my house, you can't be walking around there looking like that. Yeah, I'm talking about smooth, quick. Mm-hmm. Get you. Exodus 32, 29. Get you one. Moreover, for Moses said, consecrate yourselves today to Yahudah, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, you have sinned a great, shalom, brother Craig, you have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahudah. Peradventure, I shall make atonement for your sin. Moses returned unto Yahudah and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin and have made them gods of gold. Yet now if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray you, out of your book which you have written. Yahudah said unto Moses, whoever sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Now remember, what's the word for ways? Darak. What is Darak? That is manner of life. That takes us back to what we discussed last night. What does Enoch name mean? Dedicated. What does Elijah name mean? Yahudah. Yahudah is my Elohim. And why is that important? Because we talked about looking at Enoch. Enoch was what? What did the text say he was? Translated. That means he would change. What happened with Elijah? Translated, meaning they would change. Somebody who was, and remember it said that Enoch walked with Elohim. The word for walk is halak. Halak also means manner of life. And it was Hay, Lamad, and Ka. You understand? So you get to behold the subduing of the shepherd. Shalom, Brother Reynolds. So when you look at observing the sufferings of the shepherd, that is what is going to cause you to be humble, to have a manner of life, because you've been consecrated. See, what did we also look at? The seed of a king is set apart. That's not regular seed. Do you not understand what we read in Nehemiah a couple weeks back? He said that, well, that was in the book of Ezra, excuse me. He said they have mingled what kind of seed? How did he describe the seed? How did Ezra describe Yasharal's seed? Say what now? No, he didn't say that. Let me go on here and take you to it. Come over here to Ezra. Well, who that is doing all that screaming? I got the fun. Hey, that's how it goes down. Okay, fine. You just read it. Okay. What are you doing? Get that Here. No, yeah, you were right. It was holy seed. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I know I read royal seed somewhere. But come on back over here to Ezra 9. 9 and 2. For they have taken up their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the Kadash seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Now, what does Luke 8:13 tell you about the seed? What did he say the seed is? The word. So you have to sit back and look at that. You're born of a particular seed. What does Isaiah 59 tell you about it? Take a look at it. Isaiah 59 and 20, if you don't remember. That's a quick in and out. We're looking at that and we go on about our business. Ooh, one of y'all stinks, smell like feet. Is it Joy? 59 and 20. Is it Joy? Is it Renee? It stinks. So which one of y'all over here eating corn chips? Who just ate some corn chips?
Corn dogs. Not corn chips.
Mm-hmm. Little muffin. Leave them people in there alone. Trying to take their food. Close your legs.
Why do you call them muffin?
Won't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Isaiah 59 and 20. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion unto them that turn from transgression, and Jacob saith Yahudah. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yahudah. My ruach that is upon you, and my words which I have put in your mouth, shall not depart out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your what? Your seed. Nor out of the mouth of your seed, from henceforth and forever. What did Paul tell you? Not seeds of many, not seeds of one. Matter of fact, I'll give you an example. This hit my mind the other day, something that people be arguing about online regularly. A lot of women in this modern day time get offended when men make two proclamations in regards to women. One, that they don't want a woman with a child. Two, that they want a virgin. That they don't want women with children. And I actually heard a woman try to use the word to justify shaming men into doing that by saying we're not any of God's kids and this, that, there, and the third. And there's no need for that. And of course, common sense should tell you why. But this is what came to my mind, not the natural connotation for it. Even Yahudah himself put his seed in a virgin womb. You understand that? Yahudah himself put his seed in a virgin womb. He did not put his seed in a womb that defiled. So that shows you how highly important that is. Well, that's lost in this present day time. That's another point of going about how women don't hold each other accountable, because some women have negative experiences with giving up their womb too early, and they don't warn other women not to do it. Especially older women. A lot of older women do not warn younger women to not make the same bad decisions that they have made, because they're in direct competition with you for the same men that you're trying to get. So it doesn't benefit them to warn you to not make these bad decisions, because most grandmothers are about my age, when in times back, they would have been 10 to 15 years older than me when they started to have their first grandchildren. You got people who are becoming grandparents in their late 30s. That's not normal, because if you're a grandparent in your late 30s, guess what that means? You were a parent in your teens. You know what I'm talking about? So if you was a parent in your teens, that means that you had bad decision making. And that means that you did not instruct your offspring to not make these bad decisions, which means you probably had a plethora of bad decisions after having said offspring. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down, that's just where that comes from. That's just not to beat no women across the head. We're talking about the reality of life. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's one of the things our people don't want to deal with. We already know what's happening if men don't do their job, because the women are out of order, which means the kids are going to be out of order. But the women can be out of order because you dwell in a society that promotes it. So therefore, there's nothing that you can do to stop her from being out of order other than not dealing with her. That's the only thing you can do. Because if you were in the Far East, If you were in the quote unquote Middle East, that's not flying because you have a governmental structure and system set up. Wow, Jessica said she made her mother a grandmother at 33. That's young. At 33, well, I was just about 3 years removed from coming home from prison. That in itself is a failure. And guess who that failure got to fall at the feet at? Both of my parents. My mother exclusively because I lived with her. Do you know what I'm talking about? That got to fall at their feet. Because, you know, there's numbers that back all that up. High levels of depression, high levels of suicide, higher rates of poverty, higher rates of incarceration, directly correlated to men or children who are raised by their mother alone. The numbers show that is not effective. You see in a situation where you put at it whether children are raised exclusively by the father, those numbers drop dramatically. That's not no personal opinion. That's just life. How did you know this here? Because guess what? If you remove yourself from the whore of Babylon and you get raised exclusively by Yahudah, all type of negativity is going to cease instantly. Because the whore of Babylon does what according to Isaiah 47 and Revelation 18? She causes you to drink of the wrath of the wine of her fornications, to have all manner of dalliances with your lust and desire. And Yahudah is going to discipline that out of you because blessed is those who you chasten out of your law. He is not going to allow you to dwell in his house and conduct yourself in any way outside of what he allows. Mothers turn their head to a lot of stuff. That's my baby. Some of y'all know y'all niggas was acting damn fools in school, and your mama never, ever, ever said that you did anything wrong. Unless your mama was old school from a different time. Then she believed everything the teacher said. She would come across your scalp. And the teacher could have lied on you. But Mom Deuce like this here. If they said you did it, you did it. You know what I'm saying? But if you get these younger women, and them people go to talking about them kids did this and them kids, not my baby. Not my baby. You know that nigga a hellion when he leave. It's different if you know your son got a quiet disposition. Don't do nothing. See, like King. If a teacher called and said King was acting a fool in school, I don't believe you. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here. I've been around the boy. The boy don't act like that. So either you lying or somebody did something to him. You gonna tell me he just sitting here slapping people. That boy don't slap nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's different when you know how this child behaves. And you're coming telling me something that is completely contrary to his consistent demeanor. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if somebody called and say, Muffin Man in here acting stubborn, doing this, that, and the third, it's a likelihood it could be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, when I walked up, your daddy was like this here. Well, that's your nephew in there? He said, well, that hard, boy. Yeah, boy, that hard, boy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, he didn't say what's happening, how you doing. And he said, well, that's your nephew in there? He said, that boy, that hard. That boy tough. He looked like he was just disheveled. You know what I'm saying? Traumatized. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But if a nigga say, man, like this here, if somebody would have said, man, Bird done in here, he done acted a fool. Flipped over. He probably did. He probably did. He probably did. I ain't gonna go just because you said it, but I'm gonna give you. Yeah, he probably did. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I gotta assess the information, but I could believe it. But if you told me King cut somebody out, kicked him in the face, this, that, and the third, oh, you lying. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't even know why you called. I don't even know why you called me with that, man. Because I know he ain't did that. He done did a lot of things in life. I know he ain't did that. If he did that, somebody did something to him. You ain't gonna tell me somebody ain't did something to him. Did you mean to tell me this quiet boy just jumped up with the slapping nigga? Slap for you and sat down? No. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm telling you that because you got to know that with everybody you deal with in life, when they come and tell you something, you have to understand and know the character and the personality of that person, and does that align with what you are accustomed of them doing? You know what I'm saying? Because people lie on you in a heartbeat now. Especially the little back boys in the school system. They'll lie on. Some of y'all got lied on. And you were mad your mama ain't believe you too. To look at Davon and say, yep, to this day. To this day. They told me I was selling weed in the class. I wasn't weed, that was Reese's Pieces. I just threw that out there. That boy said I did. Everybody told me. You were hanging with rats. Romans 8, man, 26. man. Man, give me that corn dog. You know, Paul, that ain't gonna give me them vittles. Give me them vittles, boy. Nah, it's mine. I don't even like corn dogs. Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. Romans 8:26. Likewise, the Ruach also help with our infirmities. We know not what we should pray for as we ought. The Ruach itself make intercession for us with groanings, which cannot be uttered. And he that searched the hearts know what is the mind of the Ruach, because he make intercession for the saints according to Elohim. We know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are called according to his purpose, for whom he did foreknow. He also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Now, everybody, see, this is the thing, right? This may not be the case for everybody. See, me and my sister, we're not of the same seed. You know what I'm talking about? Now, some of y'all, that might be the likelihood if you got siblings. All your siblings are the same seed? I don't recall, nigga. I don't make a mental note of that. No. Like you was fit. No. But there's a reason. I'm mentioning that for a reason. Because guess what? We are the house of Yasharal, but none of you are of the same seed. Because some of you are of Naphtali, and some of you are of Joseph, and some are of Judah, and some are of Reuben, and some are of Levi. But when it becomes to being born, that's why you say the firstborn of many brethren. But when it becomes being born a son of Elohim or the son of the king, everybody is going to be of the same seed. There's not going to be, quote unquote, half brothers and sisters. Everybody, same mother, same father. You know what I'm talking about? Jerusalem, Yahusha, same mother, same father. Simple as that. Let me get that Galatians 4 because I ain't read it last night. Galatians chapter 4. Verse 21. See, even in this society, that's not even highly regarded anymore. Like, y'all don't say, nigga be shocked when you say all your seeds from the same seed. People be shocked. But I'm showing you the fact of that that's not even common, and that's from a lack of accountability. That was the rare thing to have kids that were of different seeds. Now it's common and accepted, and that now what seemed to be odd is that all your seeds. That's showing you that women don't hold other women accountable because they shocked that you only let one man impregnate you. And not men are shocked, other women are shocked. Oh, all your kids looking like they supposed to.
Got some bad letters.
Yeah, like they supposed to. But see, the reason why, you know why they say that? Now it's different for men, because 18 to 20% of the men are producing 70 to 80% of the children. Like when you hear them say 50% of men ain't got no kids, it ain't just because a lot of them don't want no kids. They can't get no vagina. But they didn't come up with the term incel for nothing. Y'all know what that means, right? Incel is shortened for involuntarily celibate. Oh, that's an internet term, because you got a lot of men on the internet who are telling people that they're celibate, but not by choice. You think men are just choosing to go in the room and cut on the hub and pleasure themselves? You think he would rather do that than get a woman? I done told you that before. I know you don't. Most women don't never believe it's real. Boy, it's hard times in the city for a lot of these boys out here, man. Especially now with the internet and niggas talking about clout. Man, niggas getting coochie for having followers. Especially with the younger women. She look on your Instagram page and she feel like it's trash. You scarred. These niggas all see this different because y'all don't live that life. Y'all not on Tinder and Bumble. Y'all ain't running into, y'all ain't in them spaces. The mass majority of the American populace are in these spaces. And these women want the top creme de la creme. And the rest of them, you know what they doing. Killing themselves.
They say tapping his foot.
Tapping his foot. You know what I'm talking about? Sex dolls. You wonder why these dudes talking about it. These dudes weren't talking about they wanted a sex doll because they wanted to replace women. They can't get none. Oh, you got a pocket vagina? What? I know. He set himself up for it. You know what I'm saying? I could have kept it going, but I just say I ain't gonna push it. I ain't gonna push it. Galatians 4:21. He said, tell me that you desire to be under the law. Do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one of a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. See, this way it come into the fact of you got to be a one seed. Because he told you what, right? That who was his seed going to be called? And Isaac, his seed, was going to be called. How is Isaac referred to? The promised seed. What did Paul write in Romans 8 when he was telling you about that? That all children are not counted for the seed, but those that be of the promise are counted for the seed. That's why everybody has to be a one seed. And I'm talking about not seed planted in multiple different women. This is a seed that's only going to be planted in one woman. See, that's one thing I was taught as a young man. Boy, they were like this here, boy, don't put your seed in infertile soil. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's a piece of game that most people don't understand when somebody tell you, don't put your seed in infertile soil. That's one of the first things you're supposed to teach your son. You don't put your seed in unfertile soil, son. Well, she can have a baby and she's fertile. That ain't what they talking about. That ain't what they talking about. Why you think, guess what, Paul? The parable of the sword is an example of the very thing of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the seed by the wayside, the seed amongst the stones, you got the seed amongst the thorns. Boy, that's infertile soil. You can't put that seed in there, boy. Because she ain't going to produce nothing. If she unfertile soil, all she going to do is give you bad fruit. That's all she going to give. It's going to be bad fruit. Hey, little muffin. Hey, little muffin. Hey, little muffin. That's my baby. That's my baby.
Hey, you got to, man. You got to.
Now, according to John chapter 8, what did he say about free? He said, the Son shall make you free. You shall be free indeed, but he said, but he that commit is the servant of sin. And you not remember, Hagar's the bondwoman, so she's considered to be an illegitimate womb. I seen a brother count Rachel and Leah's handmaids as being our matriarchs, and they're not, because they're considered to be unfertile soil. Like if you was to go to Yahudah according to the custom of the time, even with Ishmael, he would have not been considered to be Hagar's son. He would have been Sarah's. All them kids that Zilpah and Bilyah had, those were considered to be Rachel and Leah's children, not hers. See, that's the difference. What a lot of dudes don't want to realize, right? Let's just say, for this instance, right, your husband decided to take a concubine. A concubine does not have the rights or acknowledgement of a wife. You understand that? And see, that's the difference. Like if we done had that conversation before, if a man says she is a concubine, that means that she is not worthy of being a wife. Do you understand what a wife gets according to the law? I'm trying to make sure y'all get some understanding. You understand? Because if you born of the seed of the whore of Babylon, you're the son of a concubine. Do y'all know what rights according to the law a wife is supposed to receive? We just did, not even 30 days ago. Oh, and you are right. Muffin has spoken. One thing, he got to give her what? Duty of marriage. food, and clothing. That's what Exodus 21 say. A concubine is not due any of that. If he chooses to give her cohabitation rights, then he does. He does not have to feed her. He does not have to clothe her. He does not have to provide shelter for her. He doesn't have to do it. A concubine, honestly, is only there for physical gratification. That's all she's there for. And to assist in whatever matters he tells her to assist his wife in. That's what those handmaids were for, that Rachel and Leah had. That's why Jacob could sleep with them. See, y'all, see, this is a different what I'm telling you. Y'all used to a culture where white people done told you that you the mother goddess and the queen of the world, versus being in a culture where men ran it. And this is what's going to happen. And nobody cared because you would have did like this here. You either would have got with it or you would have been alone. And see, the difference is in those times, you wouldn't have been alone because you wouldn't have survived. See, you think about, oh, I can get me a job and get me an apartment and I'll be okay. That's not the world that those people were living in. You were not going to survive without a man on your own. You can survive in America without a man on your own. You can do it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But you weren't going to do that in ancient times. I mean, for the most part, the people who had concubines were kings or men of great means. So they did provide. Remember, it says Solomon had what? 300 concubines. But the concubines were there. You had concubines and you had handmaids. And if the husband had sex with the handmaid, that would have just been his decision. That was her job, was to serve that man. See, you would have to look at it this way. I'm just explaining to you ancient culture. You don't gotta like it, but it was what it was. If you was on your cycle, those women knew that they would not expect that man to go without physical gratification because you on your cycle. That's what the concubines and handmaids were for. That's what they were for, because you couldn't be in the house. Remember, you had a whole nother dwelling place that you were going to be in. So you weren't even going to be in the house. So you think things are supposed to stop because you're not in the house? No, that's not how they live. I'm just trying to get you to understand ancient culture versus the culture you live in now. It's different. It's drastically different. There were no women's rights and women because you would have been shunned as a rebellious, wicked woman, and no one would have touched you. No one. The same difference is if you was a nigga who wasn't about nothing, you wasn't gonna get no wife. You would have had to hit the prostitutes. Because nobody was gonna give their daughter to a man who wasn't gonna work. You want to sit around and be broke and twiddle your thumbs? You don't see, look at what that woman said. Broke niggas don't deserve no vagina. Boy, that's how they lived in ancient society. You couldn't be broke and get no coochie, nigga. You got dudes walking around here broke, think a woman supposed to give them some monkey. Because guess what? You'd have had to been what to get some vagina? Married. You would have gave your daughter to a broke nigga? Then get what? Palmetto it is. It's only right. It ain't nothing wrong with it. If you ain't getting you no money, you don't need no, because you know why? Because you might get her pregnant. Then what? You see niggas now, they want to get some money because they got a baby on the way. You should have been getting some money before the baby came. 4 and 23, man. I'm gonna tell you, that's what you need to tell these boys out here, man. Young men, sons, I don't care if they in the word or not. See, some games you can give them whether they in the word or not. Don't be around here beating and skeeting, boy. Besides going to hell, nigga, your life gonna be hell. Have your baby and be broke. See what that woman do to you. I done told you this before, right? Women don't have no weapons to destroy men other than their resources. That's the only weapon they got. That's why when you see a woman say, oh, my husband cheat on me, I'm going to take all his money. Who gives a damn? Take it all, ho, because you can't make it back. You can take $250,000 from me and I'll get it back. You're going to be broke because you don't have the skills or the mentality to make that $250,000 turn into $500,000. I made it. You can't make it. So take it, I get it back. But the reason why they're doing that is what other means. That's what I'm talking about. Like what that movie was, Waiting to Exhale. Like baby setting his car on fire. That's how women do. That's how I can get him back. Let me destroy his material items and take his wealth. You can't do nothing else to him. But in ancient times, if you would have left your man, you'd have left with nothing. See, that's the difference between America and ancient times. Because you could divorce your husband, but you wasn't getting nothing. Do y'all know why they even enacted these type of laws? Be quiet. You know why? Because these laws where women can get all these resources from you in divorce are not even 100 years old. They did that for the purpose of beginning the manifestation of worshiping the mother goddess, destroying masculinity, and the breaking of the family. When you break the family, Satan gets in. That's one of the easiest. That's why the women always leave, because when something is not right and Satan gets in, the woman is the easiest pawn to use because she's stupid. And why is she stupid? Because she go by her feelings. So she won't even realize she being used by the adversary because she ain't wise enough to see his devices when he uses them, because his objective is to get the man out the house. Once you get the man out the house, disorder and chaos will ensue. I'm trying to tell you something real, man. Why, and why is that important? That's why they don't want the word in your house. Because guess what? Whether you male or female, if the word is dwelling in you, guess what that means? There's a man in the house. The man. And chaos and disorder cannot exist if he is in the house. This ain't about, because if you a man and you don't listen to your husband and you push your husband out your house, you stupid. But see, we don't want to deal with that. You know why? Because we too worried about niggas' feelings. That sounds too hard. That hurt my feelings. But you got to understand the games that Satan play. Y'all niggas watch Illuminati videos and all this other stuff, but you don't realize that's his objective, to break up the family. Get the man out the house. Because if you leave a woman to her own devices, she will destroy everything she touches. That's why they use the alimony, child support. Same thing Satan did to Mashiach on the mountain. Let me show you all these riches. Just bow down and worship me, and like a dummy she do. Trying to tell you now. Guess what, right? And this is statistically correct. Women do far worse financially after a divorce than men do, because most women do not have the financial capabilities to manage, grow, and acquire large amounts of resources. Don't have it. And you can look the numbers up. She sold everything and blew the resources, and they were broke and homeless. But it's the fact of most women don't make money grow, and they're mostly consumers. So when they separate from the man who is the breadwinner, the generator of the resources, she may leave with resources, but she doesn't have the requisite skills to continue to grow them. So over time, after the period of divorce, those resources decline. Well, he has the ability to incline because he created them in the first place. I told you that a while back. You can look this up. Women's net worth is in the negative when they are single versus when they're married, because most women take on large amounts of debt. You know what I'm talking about? And we know that because we are a woman. We're the house of Yasharal, and you took on a large amount of debt. And somebody had to do what? Year of release and pay your debt back and wipe it clean. You wonder, you thinking this stuff just information. You seeing all the word of Yahudah play out, even in people who don't serve Yahudah, and everything that people do and how they behave. You see it all the time, but we don't want to accept it. We don't want to accept it because you don't want to believe how stupid we are. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say women don't hold other women accountable. Just like when you're dealing with godliness, most men don't hold other men accountable. Because when you do hold other men accountable and they not own that, they're going to leave. They're going to get from around you. Every man in here know it. They might have been the nigga who left because they didn't want to get held accountable, or hung with niggas who left from around. You ain't got to be in no word. All of us done had a homeboy ain't want to get no money, and you tell him, man, you need to get you some money. He stopped kicking it with you. Or now you done focused on doing X, Y, Z. Now he mad because you on your hustle and you ain't got time to sit around with him, and you like, nigga, I'm trying to get me some money, my nigga. Or you think you better than me. Nigga, you're broke. I was broke. My stomach hurt. I was tired of my stomach hurting. I wouldn't have got me some money. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be just like this here. I like certain things, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I like certain things. I need to buy them because that's what I enjoy. Like I said, I enjoy fragrance. Some of them are expensive. I got to get me some money. You know what I'm saying? That's before you even talk about just responsibilities. Everybody got stuff they like. I like certain things, cuz. Some of y'all like to eat out. I need to get me some money. Not because you don't want to cook. You like going to a restaurant. I want to try these vittles over here. I can't try these vittles if I ain't got no money. I got a nigga jumped in the truck the other day eating a doggone prison brick. I ain't eating no prison brick. Eating that junk on the street. He said good though. I don't care. I don't care. I ain't eating that, man. I ain't in prison no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. But when you like certain stuff, some niggas like to get fresh. I got to get me some money. Some of y'all ladies like to get your hair done. But you know the difference is a woman be like, I like this and this here. I need to get me a husband. That was some women say. They don't say I need to get me some money. They say I need to get me a man. Man can't be like I need to get me a daddy. I need to get me a mama. So they can take, you don't have that option. I got to get me some money. You know what I'm talking about? 4 and 24. Or 23. But he was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. He of the free woman was by promise. Which things are allegory for those two covenants. The one of Mount Sinai, which gender under bondage, which is Agar. Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answer to Jerusalem, which now is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. You understand? So you born of Jerusalem, you got to come from one seed. Because you're supposed to resemble the son of a king. Well, what is the resemblance of a son of a king? Likeness, image, right? That's what it means, right? Well, I just read that the other night in Jeremiah 9. But we're going to go to Galatians 5. And let's just look at the likeness of a king. Galatians 5 and 22. Stinking pots. Potted stinks. Stink. You stink. I stink. 9-year-olds. Leah's. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Now, I went here for a reason, because now we're going to go backwards. I need you to come to Matthew chapter 1, because we're talking about resembling a king. What is that genealogy in Matthew 1 about? To David and who else? Abraham. Then we're going to go to 1 Chronicles. I need y'all to be quiet because y'all talking entirely too much for my taste. I don't care to hear it. Thank you for your cooperation. I mean, he left his father and mother to cleave to his wife. Yeah, pretty much. He's just asking Jerusalem, the mother of us all. You know what I'm saying? But as far as you can look at his wife, father and mother, excuse me, you know, he literally left Mary. Y'all recall that, right? He literally left Mary to cleave to his wife. Y'all remember when that happened? Because what Saran just asked, is that how he left mother and father to cleave to his wife? Jerusalem above and Elohim also. And you can look at it in that aspect. But if we look at it in that aspect, we would be insinuating that Jerusalem would be his father's wife. You understand? Because I get what he was saying, why you would go to that, right? If you say Jerusalem is his mother, well, you know, because it just said Jerusalem, which is above, is the mother of us all. You understand? So if we say Jerusalem is his mother above, that consequently makes Jerusalem what? the father's wife, and we know that he doesn't have one. So what you aspect of, because we ain't talked about this particular matter in a long time. When he left his father and mother to cleave to his wife, he left his father when he departed from Shamahim. It's relevant because we're talking about it, because I just mentioned it before. Even Yahudah himself put his seed in a virgin's vagina, in a virgin womb. He put his seed in a womb that had not been defiled. She is his mother. In John 19, what did Yahushua do? Let's take a look at it for those who are not aware, because niggas looking at me like, oh, I don't know.
Okay.
John chapter 19. Verse 25. Are you Renee? Who else is Renee? Where did you get that name from? Is that mom's name? So you have mom's name? How did you get that? John 19:25. Now therefore stood by the stake of Yahushua his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas. And it just says Mary of Cleophas, because there would be no need to put wife on it. Clearly you would know that's his wife when you said Cleophas. And Mary Magdalene. When Yahushua therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by whom he loved, he said unto his mother, Woman, behold your son. Then he said to his disciple, Behold your mother. And from that hour, that disciple took her unto his own. That home wasn't there. So this is when you see him leaving his mother. Because now he's about to go into the grave so he can cleave to his wife and they be one flesh. See, let's go back and look at the law for it. Pray the Lord. We do it all. Well, his father would have been, when father and mother forsake me, Yahuwah will take me up. Because we're talking about getting married. Because he's saying you've abandoned me there. But when you get married, this is one of the biggest mistakes that most people in America make. When you get married, your parents are done. That's over with. You know what I'm talking about? That is over with, especially for the man. That's more so for the man. You know what I'm talking about? Your mama and your daddy, that's a wrap. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no, I'm spending more time with my birth family than my own family. You're trash. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning you're useless. There's no way that you cleave into because at that point you should have stayed at your parents' house. You know what I'm saying? I get that American stuff. That junk don't matter no more. Once you get married, that junk don't matter. Because you know why? Because clearly your parents had already created their own family. Now it's time for you to go create yours. I don't need you doubling back over here. But that's more so for the men. Because that's who he was talking to, was he not? Where we finna read in Genesis 2. See, I ain't talking to the women on that one. Because, women are social creatures. So they always going to want to still talk to their mama and their aunties and daddies and granddaddies and this, that, and the third. That's why they say women say, I want a man who's close with his family. He need to be close with his own family, not his family. Because you can have a nigga who be close with his family, but don't fool with the family he made. And I know some of y'all done seen that. Now ask yourself, does that make sense? How you create a family that you ain't close to, but you close to the family you left from? You should have stayed there. Big grown rusty nigga always running to his mom and his dad. Mama, help me. Mama, I don't know what to do. You should have stayed with her, nigga. Let her be your wife then. Because something wrong with you. Genesis 2:21. Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. He slept, took one of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead thereof. The rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from man, made he woman and brought her unto the man. Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of a man. Therefore shall a man leave. See what he said? Therefore, who gonna leave? A man. Leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Now come over here to 1 Corinthians, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 6. So that's why he had to, that's one of the instances why he had to do what? Give Mary away. How he gonna cleave to his wife if he's still cleaving to his mom? He did have an earthly mother. Mary was his mother earthly. But see, he did though. The mother was the ground. You know what I'm saying? But what he was doing, and I get your point, what he was doing is he was prophesying. You know what I'm saying? And he was also setting the standard for the offspring that he was going to have. Well, you got to cleave to your wife, son. You get your wife, ain't nobody, as forth is familiar. Like I just seen a woman say, when she had kids, her kids come before her husband. I'm going to tell you, man, something real. If your wife look you in the face and say, your seeds come before her, put her out your house. Because she don't care nothing about you. You know what I'm talking about? She don't care nothing about you. If she can look you in your face and tell you that your seeds come before you, she don't care nothing about you, put out your house. You know what I'm talking about? Because you supposed to come before anybody on the earth to her. Because them your seeds. So how you going to put my offspring before me? In your mind, that means she doesn't value and respect you as a man. And if a man you think, because most men think that's how she's supposed to feel. You was raised by a woman if you believe that. Nah, you ain't gonna put my kids before me. Because if these kids get out of pocket and I got to put them out, that means you gonna buck and go against me because you put them before me. So that means if I have needs that need to be met, I got to sacrifice them because you say the kids come before me. That means I don't need you here. Because before the kids was here, guess who was here? You was here. Nah, that's not how that works. That's why the kids unruly now. And that's right, Saran. The same thing Yahudah say, y'all come first. Because what he told you better be willing to forsake. Mother, father, sons, daughters, your own life also. Play with it. That's not the way of Yahudah. That's emotional stuff. To cause you to put that woman on a pedestal and to neglect what you need and desire to appease her. Lying to me, if I'm going to neglect what I want in the house that I pay for, you're going to give me what I want. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Nobody's forcing you to do it. There's the door. Because I refuse to take care of somebody who does not regard my desires as their top priority, and I'm taking care of them. Do you think Yahudah going to care about, I got to put my mama in before you, Yahudah. Let me put my kids before Yahudah. That man told you not to do that. He said, if you do that, what you can't be? Can't be his disciple. You know what else he's showing you? You're not the son of a king. Because sons of a king ain't taught to do that. See, I know this harsh because ain't nobody never told us none of this stuff. But Yahudah come first. For a woman, your husband comes first before anybody in the flesh. Before anybody in the flesh, your husband come before your kids. Your husband come before your mama. Your husband come before your daddy. Your husband come before your friends. He come before everybody. The only reason why that bothers women is because they're with a man they didn't want to marry. And you should have just married. You should have married. Or your mama didn't teach you right. Most of it probably your mama didn't teach you right. Most of y'all grew up seeing a woman not putting the man first. Hold on. I didn't want you to think about that, right? More so for the men, because he said to cleave. Y'all know what cleave means, right? Y'all know what it means to cleave? Let's look at it, see that Hebrew word. Let's look at it. To bach, to clean, to stick, to stay close, to be joined together. What Hebrew character means joined together? Little Muffin. Where you at, Little Muffin? What means joined together? What letter did we look at that means joined together? Cross sticks. Huh? That's right. That's right. Tau. And what is tau? That's a mark. That's a sign. That's a covenant. So when you see that cleaving and joining together, he's trying to tell you about a covenant relationship. You understand? When a man goes to cleave to his wife, that's a covenant relationship. That's why in Malachi, he told you not to deal treacherously with the wife of your what? Covenant. You know what I'm saying? The contract that you've entered into. There's no way as a man that anybody comes before your wife. It's forth is in the flesh. Now, I done told you about this here, how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go Yahudah. When I say Yahudah, I'm talking about the Father and the Son, you, your purpose, then her. You know what I'm saying? She got to be number 4. And most women won't admit it. They want to be number 4. They don't want to be number 1. Or they don't even want to be number 2. Don't never put no woman before you, boy. If your mama and daddy, if your daddy or your uncles or your granddaddy ain't told you that, I'm telling you that now. Don't never put no woman before you. Don't never do that. You a damn fool if you do it. Don't never do that. She's not going to respect you for it. You know what I'm talking about? She's not going to respect you for it. You got to put yourself first. Because you know what's going to happen when you put yourself first? That means you're going to put structure, order, and systems first and not her whimsical feelings and desires. Because that's how many men have been destroyed. That's giving your strength to a woman when you put her before you. That is allowing yourself to be in ways that destroy a king. That's not the manner of life that a king walk in. King, you think kings put people before them? No. See, there's a difference of being a servant now. See, you can serve and still put you first. See, putting you first don't mean that you're not serving. Putting you first doesn't mean that you're selfish. Putting you first is putting your objectives, vision, and plan before her. Because she's supposed to fit into your plan. You ain't supposed to fit into hers. She coming along for the ride. You know what I'm talking about? You coming along for the ride with Yahudah. Yahuwah's not coming to ride with you. He's not coming to ride with you. I'm building all this up because we're finna look at this with David. That's why I mentioned these genealogies about resembling a king. Because if we're going to talk about resembling a king, then we need to talk about the greatest king known in this book outside of Solomon and Yahushua, will we not? Because there is no Solomon. Of course, there is a Yahushua, but there is no Solomon without David. You know what I'm talking about? And David's and Solomon's testimony are integral parts into the testimony of Mashiach, are they not? So then, of course, both of these men, more specifically David, was in the resemblance of a king because he had a heart like unto whose heart? Yahuwah's heart. So if he had a mind like unto Elohim, that means he magnified being in the resemblance or the likeness of a king and how a king behaves. Just because a king puts himself first does not mean that he does not love his wife sacrificially. That is not what that means. See, if you think and hear things emotionally, then you're going to think, oh, that's being selfish. What about me? The minute that you have a thought about what about me, you would need to check your spirit because you are a selfish individual. Because a man, by product of entering into a covenant relationship, is already thinking about you. What I was at? I said Genesis 2. Let me go over here.
Genesis 2.
I just read that one now. Come over here. What it is? The other one said 1 Corinthians 6. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Come over here to what it is? Galatians, man. No, the one with the husband love you. Ephesians. Excuse me. Ephesians. The reason why I want to deal with this here because you're married to a king. You understand? See, I put it to you this way, right? A lot of people like to talk about their kings and queens, right? This, that, and the third. A lot of women like to call themselves queens. But you already know you can't be a queen unless you're married to a who? Can't be a queen. You ain't no queen and you ain't got no husband. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you that right now. You's a fool if you think you're a queen and you ain't got no husband. And you ain't no queen if your husband ain't no king. He ain't no king because he a man. He got to have the attributes and the abilities of a king. He got to have the mind of a king. You're not a king because you a man. That's foolish. We come from kings and queens. No, we don't. Because if you were of the tribe of Naphtali, ain't no kings in Naphtali, nigga. If you were the tribe of Reuben, ain't no kings in Reuben. If you were the tribe of Asher, ain't no kings in Asher. Ain't no kings in Levi. Right or wrong. I don't care nothing about no African culture. Ain't no kings in Simeon. You had some in Joseph. But guess what? We don't care about them. He refused the tabernacle of Joseph. and rejected the tabernacle of Ephraim and chose the tribe of Yahudah, Mount Zion, who he loved. So if you ain't of the tribe of Yahudah, you ain't no king. Meaning, if you ain't a Yahushua, you ain't no king. You're a lie you told. So that means you got to be born of the royal seed. That means you got to be born of the word. Because who is the king? Yahuwah of hosts is the king. That means you're going to have to resemble a king. And if you're married to the king, that means you would know as a woman how to conduct yourself. A queen would never embarrass her husband. Under no circumstance. You got a lot of women call themselves queens and embarrass their husband. Jada Pinkett is an example. That's embarrassing your husband. I don't care if they doing it on purpose or not. You never embarrass your husband. No woman of royalty would ever do such a thing. That's why I said that my name is blasphemed amongst the Gentiles because of you. You embarrassing your husband. A woman who married to a king ain't coming out with her booty cheeks and her titties out. That's why he tell you that she carry herself modestly. Not worried about pearls and all that. She ain't got to prove she married to a king. It's already known. See, that's a part of we ain't been raised by no kings. Because if we was raised by kings, we'd have been told this in our youth. Niggas be quick. You know, I done told you this before. Niggas want to say they kings and queens because you want to feel better about yourself because you got low self-esteem. So you want to boost yourself up. I'm a king working at Burger King. You's a court jester, nigga. Nigga laughing at you. What that was, that nigga Nell put up a clip of some white dude preaching. He wasn't telling no lies. He said, look at all the stuff that we go purchase. You go to Abercrombie and Fitch. That ain't no brand. Them real people. That's somebody's name. You go buy Levi's. That's Levi Strauss. That's a real person. Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford was a real person. You go buy Adidas. That's a real person. That was Adi Dassler. And we thinking we did buying brands, and you buying family name, buying Heinz ketchup. That's a real man. It's a real family. Some of y'all used to buy DuPont products. The DuPont family is one of the richest families in America. The DuPonts. Mm-hmm. Very, very wealthy family. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even getting with the streets. I'm not talking about the product. I'm talking because she said it's a real. He just was talking the products that we purchased. Rolls Royce is named after two white men. Oh, God, no. God. I mean, they were rich because, you know, DuPont, they used to make, you know, rubber, Tupperware, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all type of stuff. They still got their bread. Like even with Walmart, that's Walton Mart. They slid their name in there. Same thing with Walgreens. They slid their name in there. Because a brother was talking about Kanye saying how the French own 80% of the banks. And he was like, we be on the internet arguing about, you know, men and women dynamics. But when we going to talk about ownership? And I told the nigga straight like this here. Y'all ain't ready to have that conversation for ownership because you ain't committed to doing what's necessary to bring that about. He said, what you mean? Blood got to be shed. He talking about, boy, you got to have, what about black banks? You talking about international banking. And once you go to talking about international banking, you're going to step on some toes. That means you're going to have to be ready to go to war. See, you can't have ownership if you don't own the land that you live in. See, you niggas happy about owning the business. Nigga, you need to own the land. Because if you don't own the land, that means you don't rule it. And if you don't rule it, that means another group of people can take it by force. You know what I'm talking about? So the type of ownership that these niggas want, you're going to have to be willing to shed blood and be content with the fact that you are not going to live to see that vision come to pass. Malcolm X told you that decades ago. He talking about we want freedom. The cost of freedom is death. And you should know that from the word. To be free from sin, it's going to cost you your life. Niggas not ready for that. But guess what? We don't have to be concerned with that. Because somebody is going to come and because guess what? For Yahushua to rule, what is he going to have to do? He going to have to shed blood. He already said that he's coming to make war with the nations and they're going to be angry because their kingdoms, nobody takes forth rule without shedding blood. Hey, come here, boy. Come here, boy. What's your problem? Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself. Breathe. Breathe. Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself. Why are you making all that noise? Because of what? Oh, so you crying about fighting over a Bible? Well, that's completely unacceptable because neither one of you can read. Oh, you like to throw bags? Well, why did you throw a bag? Because you were upset that you didn't get your desired outcome? Well, that's completely unacceptable. Find yourself to stand over there and look at the door for a moment. Do not cry. Do not weep. Walk over there quietly and put your face in the door. Ephesians 5 and 29. Conduct yourself properly, sir. Because clearly your Abba's not here. But there's a host of men in here that will stick a mud hole straight up your backside, boy. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord, the body. Do y'all remember what nourish meant in the Greek? To bring to maturity. For we are members of his body, of his flesh and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Mashiach in the house. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself. And the wife see that she reverence her husband. Now I'm getting to a point because in our continuing discussion about resembling a king, we're going to be looking at David again. Because he's talking about how he chose the tribe of Yahudah, because he chose Yahudah to be the tribes of the king with David. So it is by necessity that we have to look at David in discussing being in resemblance of a king. What's that? Who was the last child in the bathroom? If any of you children can't tell me who was the last one in the bathroom, I will pick 3 children at random, and then you can go in there and clean it. Oh, so it was you. What did they do in there? You've been chosen. Just the way he said that, I don't think he did it. Matter of fact, don't do it. Get that one. Like to throw bags. Get the one who like to throw bags. Yeah, get the one that like to throw bags. Send Eugene back. Hey, come here. Hey, What's your problem, boy? What's your problem? What you stomping for? What you stomping for? Hush your mouth, and I'll let your cheeks go. Hush. Now go in there and clean that bathroom. I don't care if you didn't do it. You don't throw no books at your mama. Care nothing about none of that. Since you want to, let me put it to you this way. Cut it out. You can go in there and clean that bathroom. I can take this belt and let it clean you. Which one would you like? I'll let you choose. Okay, then. You made a wise decision. Stop stomping in this house, boy. You ain't no woman. Oh, that doggone stomp. What's wrong with that boy? What's wrong with it? That nigga said, I don't want to clean that. Come over here to 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Six and 15. Leave that dog alone. Unless you want to go in the closet with him. He fight good, too. Yeah, he drinking water. Leave him alone. He stink. He probably think you stink. Well, if he stink, why you following him? That make you mad? What y'all laughing for? Something funny? Y'all some goofy children. 1 Corinthians 6 and 15. Know you not that your bodies are members of Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of Mashiach and make them the members of a harlot? Elohim forbid. What? Know you not that which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two saith he shall be one flesh, but he that is joined unto the Lord is one ruach. Now, let me go back to show you how a man got to leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. You being the wife. Luke 14. I referenced it. We'll read it. Luke 14 and 25. And to be honest with you, right, now that I'm thinking about it, that is one of the negatives. That is one of the negatives of why men don't want to necessarily marry women who have children. Because since that's not his seed, that woman is already going to have a natural inclination to put the fruit of her womb before that man. You know what I'm talking about? And men go into that dynamic knowing that. If she already has a child, she's going to put that child before you. See, it's different. If what's going on? Oh, go and sit down there. If you start crying, boy, I promise to you, I'm gonna make you stand outside. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, ain't nobody but see, this is what happens, right? Because see, I ain't gonna whoop you. Now I can't speak for the rest of them in here. I ain't gonna whoop you, and you already know that. But I'm gonna make your life difficult. I'm gonna make you say I would have rather you whoop me. See, because I know y'all really like the whooping because you feel like the sting and the pain go away and it's over. You know what I'm saying? See, I was a child. See, I know what happened with you. See, the whoopings, you get numb to them. So you feel like I just go and get the whooping and it's over. See, it's not over with me. I will torment you for days. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's going to last longer. Because you're going to learn to obey what I say, boy. That's what you're going to do. Because you ain't going to act no fool. Torture. I'm talking about put you on a dresser. And bang him with a spike bat. Now, when he went too far, then he said, just get an iron, put it on the stove. And nigga say, and stick it in your cheeks. And he hit it. That nigga say, I saw your butthole closed and keep feeding you. Method Man is a weird guy. Oh, yeah, for Dave. But my torment ain't the type of torment that you think. Because, see, y'all already know I'm going to put them to work. I'm going to make them do things that they don't like. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's going to stick with you longer to not disrespect me and size me. I ain't just going to get you with no whooping. That junk don't work. And everybody in here know that junk don't work, especially the boys. Most of you girls ain't get whooped like that. That junk don't work. When they get to a certain age, that yelling, that popping, that junk don't work. They tune you out. You sound like the Charlie Brown, womp, womp. They ain't listening to nothing you talking about. They do stuff and be like, I'm going to get a whooping and be over with, and I can go on about my day. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, no. I'm going to get you right. See, I ain't with that. I done told you that ain't nobody disrespecting me in my house. Child, woman, nobody. But I'm going to do something to you, boy. Discipline. Because you're going to learn today. And you think because your Abba ain't here, you're going to act like this, sir? Because everybody here know, I'll pop them. But I ain't with that whooping, John. I ain't going to whoop you. I'm going to make your life difficult. You know the thing that make it most difficult? Sitting there explaining to them how their behavior is folly. Because they want to go. They like, I wish this nigga shut up. I'm going to talk some more. You know what I'm talking about? Because he got to sit there. He got to soak up the game. But guess what? When he get about 25 or 26, he be like, I appreciate that game. See, you got to think as a man, you got to think 10, 15 years down the line. You can't be thinking about today. Not dealing with no boy. Not no man child. All right, you got to get him young, man. You got to give him the game. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't give him the game, they're going to put you to shame. Luke 14 and 25. See, I don't know. See, it's like I said, I know you your whole life. You know what I'm talking about? See, I remember you had your mama walking crazy for about 3 weeks. Boy, your head was large. It wasn't right. She didn't need all that. You don't give her all that pain during labor, then you're going to come out and aggravate her some more? You all right? Cut all that out, boy. You act like somebody beat on you like you a slave. Don't nobody hit you, boy. That's the other thing they be doing. I don't be liking that junk. Some of them be jumping and acting like they get abused. Don't nobody even hit you. They just like, I know I'm gonna get a whooping. Ain't nobody finna hit you. You get a whooping. You get a whooping. This is looking like, shoot, I don't want to say. You get a whooping? Oh, you do? Why you get a whooping? Huh? What's the reason why you be getting a whooping? Because you don't listen. And you still don't be listening, do you? You don't know. Why you be getting a whooping? You don't know why you get a whooping? That's one thing about it. Them niggas like this here, I don't want to say because I might get another. I'm going to be quiet. That's how they look like, who? So you get a whooping? Why you get a whooping? And you still don't be listening, do you? Sometimes you do. I would hope all the time, baby. I know that's why y'all get whooping. Y'all get whooping because that's what I was telling like this here. I done already told y'all this before. Girls are naturally rebellious. They just buck. They don't listen to nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Little boys will listen. They might be mad and stomp off. But them niggas will look you dead in the face and be like, shoot, I heard what you said, nigga, and I'm gonna go over here and do this. Oh, girls are naturally rebellious. That's in y'all nature to rebel. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody say something. One thing I learned early in my life, if you want a woman to do something, tell her to do the opposite of what you want her to do. You know what I'm saying? If you a man and you tell your daughter, won't you be out here having sex, you gonna go out there and have sex just because he told you not to do it. So then you be here going out there sleep with everybody. Try every penis you can. You be like, why you telling me that, daddy? She be like, I don't know if I want to do that. It don't sound good. You know? Now, I wouldn't recommend y'all doing that now, but I'm just telling you, like, if you had a teenage daughter and you'd be like this here, like, shoot, go ahead, get all the people. Because the reason being is, women, if you tell a young woman not to do something, the fact of telling them not to do it, they want to see what about it and why you don't want them to do. Look at you like this here. Now, why I was trying. Don't smoke the weed. I'm smoking the weed. Don't sip the liquor. Where's the bottle? Like, it ain't just got to be sex, just anything, period. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think, because they rebellious. You can tell a boy, this is what the lady was telling me about, which I understood what she was saying about, do we shelter them? Or do you tell, because if I say to my daughter, don't have sex, I'm going to tell her, this is why you don't do it. Number one, you're going to dishonor your body. Well, really, number one, you're going to dishonor Yahudah. You're going to dishonor your body. Number two, it's going to cause your value and your level of respect to decrease. You possibly could have a child out of wedlock and be at a financial disadvantage because you're in a situation that you cannot financially provide for said child, because I sure as in hell not doing it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm quite possibly going to put you out of my house. That's right, Ruth. I'm talking about out of here. That's right. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you got a tooth in there? Oh, I said you got teeth in there. Oh, you ain't no baby no more, Ruth. Like, this is the point. Because you can tell a boy not to do something. He may or may not do it, but he's not necessarily going to run to go try it out. Because if you tell a lady not to do something, she going to make it her business to find out what it is you don't want her to do the very next day, if not the same day. You know what I'm talking about? If not the same day. She finna get out there and find out. My daddy told me don't have no sex. You ready to have sex? That's how her mind working with the little boy. She talking about, yeah, you know, I was in gym the other day, and all she thinking about, you ready to have sex? So I'm gonna give you some sex, because my daddy told me not to do it. So I know it got to feel good. It got to be good, or he wouldn't have told me not to do it. But is it a lie, though? Exactly. Exactly. So, ain't no 1%. When y'all were young and somebody told y'all not to do something, you tried to figure out it's got to be good, because if it wasn't good, you wouldn't tell me not to do it. I'm talking about on average. We're talking about the majority, not outliers, the majority. That's my point. The majority of young women, if you tell them not to do something, they figure it has to be physically good, or feel good, because why would you tell me not to do it? Why would you tell me? But I'm saying that's the rebellious thought pattern of a woman. Because all y'all, when y'all were little girls, looked somebody in the face and said, "You're not the boss of me." You did it. We got to ask your parents about that.
Then when you had other siblings.
I'm grown. Y'all don't start saying you grown till you start living in your own house. Then you grown. Grown to what? You done grown some titties, that's about it.
Still the same size.
Same size. 1425 Luke. And there went a great multitude with him, and he turned and said unto them, "If any come to me and hate not his father, mother, wife, children, brethren, sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple." He got to be, your husband got to come first. If you're going to cleave to him, how is anybody else going to come in between? How anybody, and you know why nobody else can't come in between? Because you in a covenant relationship. You entered into an agreement. Because what did Yahudah say to you? Have no other what? That mean, get what? That mean I come first. And then he said, out of all the people of the earth, who he knows? You. Did he have another wife? So that mean ain't nobody come before Yasharal. There it is. That's in the law. That book, that's in the law. If Yahudah did, I don't want to talk about it. But why could he make that statement? Because he entered into what? A covenant relationship with you. That means that's what you agreed to. You entered into the situation and circumstance knowing that what it was. Knowing that what it was. Before we entered into it, then what it is, you with it? And he let him know, y'all my only wife. I ain't got no other woman. I don't want no other woman. I'm with you. That's why Jose came and said, what? I'm going to be for you. You ain't going to be for another man. And I'm going to be for you. And that's what it is. Come on to Jose chapter 3, see what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you the framework of your king, because your king got one. See, I was telling somebody this the other day, and y'all know this here. A man's natural biological nature is to have more than one woman. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It's just in his nature. And I was mentioning this here because I done told y'all this before. What I don't be liking is, if you want 3-4 women, just be man enough to look that woman in the face and say that's what you want. Don't enter into no covenant relationship and then try to slide 2-3 hoes on the low. You was a coward. You should have looked in the face and said, "Hey man, I'm gonna need me about 2-3 others." And that's just what it is. Is you with it or not? And if she with it, proceed. Because we done had a conversation before. My personal opinion, I have no stats. I have no verifiable information to back this up. I personally believe about 60 to 70% of women would have no problem whatsoever sharing a man. None whatsoever. No, I know that. Mass majority of women are doing it anyway. See, now, also, most of y'all wouldn't feel that way. The difference what would make you change your tune is if the mass majority of men was on that, then you would have no other choice. See, the reason why most women feel like that now is because you feel like I'll find somebody who don't want that. I'm telling you, the mass majority of men want that, but they don't have the heart to look you in the face and tell you that. And if he got bread and resources, you going for it. If that nigga can take care of you and give you the life that you cannot give yourself, you not gonna sit here and tell me that you gonna sit here and be broke when you can be with this nigga and he taking care of you. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Because if you got a chance to be with a man who can give you the life that you want versus slumming with a broke nigga, you is not gonna go slum with the broke nigga. Y'all say that because you'll never be faced with having to make that choice. You say that because you're not in a chance to make that choice. Because if you had the choice to be provided for, or you had to go out here and work 40, 50 hours a week and split bills, you're not picking that nigga. You ain't picking that nigga. And you know you ain't picking that nigga. Because every day you see that nigga driving down the street in that Benz and you got to take your black behind to work, you would have been like, that could have been me. But I'm splitting bills with this broke nigga. I've been telling you. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not telling you this is what you should do. But I'm telling you the reality of life. That mass majority at a biological nature, most men desire, we already went through this book-wise. Most men desire more than one woman, excuse me. But if you dealing with the mind of Elohim, you're going to discipline yourself to be with that one woman in that covenant relationship that he has already set the example for. He done already set that standard. That's why we talk about resembling the son of a king. See, if you're not a son of a king, you're not going to have that thought process. See, because we're not worried about David or Solomon and how many wives they had. We're talking about the king of kings. But I'm telling you a harsh reality that at a biological nature, men desire, because no woman can give a man everything he wants. In your mind, you think you his everything. You're not. He's here to tell you that you're not. You're not. One woman, because guess what? One man can't give a woman everything they want because y'all been deluded about the things that you desire. That's why you get upset when a man don't do A, B, C, and D. But I'm here to tell you, one woman can't give a man everything he wants because some of y'all talk too much and some men want a woman who'll be quiet. Like straight up. Some of y'all talk, some of you are not inviting and personable. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all think it's just the vagina. It's elements of a woman. Some men don't even want to be around a woman at all. Like, don't talk to me. Don't come in my space. And that don't make sense to y'all. It's the feminine energy. He doesn't want anything to do with it all the time. Why y'all think when a nigga come in the house, he don't want to talk? I don't want to be bombarded with feminine energy as soon as I come in the door. Y'all don't understand that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just telling you stuff that niggas won't tell you. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a woman. I'm telling you stuff that men won't tell you. It sound like what? It's not that men should. Some men, it's like this here. They like their woman. Because y'all want to talk, because y'all are the social creature. Men are not social creatures like you. Men talk, but see, there's a difference. I might talk this, that, and the third, but if I've been out the door and I've been doing whatever it is that I'm doing, I don't want to come in the door and interact with feminine energy immediately. I need to set my mind and heart to be prepared to deal with feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what the difference is? Y'all don't really understand that men think and desire different things than you do. Yeah, we already know because you're rude. Water. I heard you say it. I come home from work. I don't want to talk either. Okay, you already know I ain't saying nothing. Nigga been out there 16 hours a day. Nigga don't want to talk to you. And then you want to talk about nothing. And that be the thing. Nothing. You're not even talking about nothing irrelevant. But that's the thing. This is right. Listen, right. We're not saying that you're wrong. We're not mad at you. Just telling you what it is, because this is the difference. You look at your husband like he one of your girlfriends. This is my best friend. I want to talk to him about everything. Men don't view you like that. Men don't view you as his best friend that he wants to talk to. Just like he said, that nigga want to come in the door. He want to play Call of Duty for an hour and then talk to you. You want to tell me about, the day when I was at the grocery store, this lady had, nigga, I don't give a damn.
That's crazy. Yeah. Everyone, that's crazy.
But hey, y'all know the difference between me and y'all? I'm going to tell you I don't give a damn. I'm gonna tell y'all I want to hear this. Then they get mad. You're not even listening to me. Well, shoot, talk about something and then I'll listen.
Y'all can't even wait for y'all.
Nigga, I be asleep. Today, I was in the sleep. Dude, on Sundays, I be working.
Okay.
Guess what? That one day, it's football season. How that be in January? On Sunday, shoot, nigga, I be in the bed. Sometimes I just lay down. Look at that there. Look at this here, right? Brittany just said her son, 15 years old, say that's all facts. He don't want to talk. That boy 15 years old, he tell you he don't want to talk.
He didn't have some experience.
Don't no man want to talk. The only niggas who want to talk to you is the niggas who trying to get in your drawers who ain't got in them yet. Y'all ain't never noticed once a nigga got in your drawers, he got less conversation with you. Look at you.
That's how it started. That's how it started.
She talking about yes, she do. Where's the baby? Shoot, I don't care, nigga.
Go ahead, man. Let him know what you're saying,
We talking about when y'all was in the world.
Hey, this is my man.
She said yes, she do, because she said I don't talk to her when she want to talk.
Hey, my man has a slogan.
Yes, I do. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just like to say, right? It's not that nigga don't. Because guess what? Because if a man wanted to talk about you about the stuff that he care about, y'all don't want to listen. No, you don't. Yeah, we know that. So guess what? Even swap, no swindle. Even swap, no swindle. You know what I'm saying? I put it to you this way. If Johnny came in the house, I like to say every man in here got a business. If Johnny came in the house talking about the intricate details of cleaning, Monica don't want to hear that. If Stanley came in the house and say, Callie, boy, I just bought this new paint and this primer, and boy, when I hit this, she don't want to hear that. But you don't want to hear it though. Because if I came in the house and say, D boy, where we found, we trash with that nigga like, nigga, I don't give a damn about this trash thing.
Check it, nigga.
You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, we literally loaded up a truck with 4 tons of trash, cat dander and litter. You think she care about? I'm not gonna tell this nigga don't care. Woo, that's a great story to tell.
Well, how's it back?
Yeah, we had a hard time doing in this kitchen today. Couldn't get the doggone stove out. They don't care. But you want to come tell me about the lady at the nail salon. Screw that lady. Care about that.
We go Hosea 3.
Hosea 3 and 3. You know, I'm just making being fun about it, but it's that serious though. Most niggas don't want, and it's not that they don't like their women, but it's just different. Masculine and feminine energy is 2 different things. And the man doesn't want to always be bombarded with feminine energy. Because the bombardment, and this is all serious, the bombardment of feminine energy can erode away at his masculine energy, which will cause you to disrespect him over time. And also, as I mentioned, it's the dynamic. You view him as your best friend, as you should. But he doesn't see you that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that disconnect be coming in at. Because you don't never hear most men say, I want my wife to be my best friend. You know what I'm saying? But the woman needs to see him that way. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, y'all know if y'all got stuff that you really like, he can really tell you really care about this and this is important, he's going to be more inclined to listen. Y'all just are more inclined to have banter about things of no consequence. And dudes don't want to hear that. What'd you say? I understand. But we're talking about in average, in general, not you. I hope Muffin don't grow up to be like this.
We got double trouble, man.
Double trouble. We definitely can't have a push out another one. Because I ain't gonna lie. If she have a girl, I'm building a house in the back. I ain't finna be living in a house with 4 women. I'm going in the back. I'm building a house in the back. My suite, not a mother-in-law suite. The Lord suite. We finna get ready to slide. Because it's 4:30 right now, so we got to. Jose 3-1. I'm gonna hit these things with these genealogies because we got a baptism to do. That's gonna set us up for Wednesday. Then said Yahudah unto me, go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of Yahudah towards the sons of Yasharal, who looked to other gods and flagons of wine. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a homer of barley, and a half a homer of barley. And I said unto her, you shall abide for me for many days. You shall not play the harlot. You shall not be for another man, and so will I be for you. So again, this is the mind of a king. You understand? It's a difference. See, y'all have to, I know it'd be difficult for women, y'all listen emotionally. A man's natural biology is to be with more than one woman. But the mind of a son of a king, he's going to be with one. And that's a difference. Everybody don't have that mind. I don't knock niggas who want more than one woman. I'm going to tell them according to this book, that don't fly. But I don't knock them if they upfront about it. See, what I don't respect is dudes that want more than one, but don't say that. And enter into a covenant relationship with a woman under the guise that you was only going to be with her. Now you're a liar. You've broken your covenant. I don't respect you. If you came and said, hey, I want 3-4, then if she agreed with it, you can't complain about the terms that you agreed to up front. You can't do that. Because you could have said no. You know what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, we know that women look for security. All that junk about, see what that was, one of them songs she was listening to, and it clicked in my brain. And it went along with what we were discussing last night. Most people in America are not loved. That's why love songs, love movies, that's why they're so popular. Because they have you looking for something that you didn't have. All these people singing these songs, talking about love, I need love. It's because your mama and your daddy didn't love you. So you looking for somebody to give you a love that you can never get because the love that you desire does not exist. And that's what people don't get. The love that you're looking for doesn't exist. So when you seek and find the love of Elohim, you reject it because it doesn't mesh with the love that you have created in your mind to exist. That's why that love language thing is kind of a tricky thing to deal with. Because when you focus on that, it causes people to say, if you don't love me like this, then you don't love me. Which means will cause you to look at Yahudah and say, oh, you don't love me like this, or you don't love me. Because I need you to love me like this. When Yahudah loves like this. That's why I say it's tricky. I ain't say it's wrong or delusional. I said it's tricky. It's a difference. You know what I'm talking about? Because it could cause you to reject pure, unadulterated love because it doesn't mesh with the vision of love that you've created in your mind. That's what makes it tricky. Because if you look at how Yahudah say love, that trumps any love language. It's going to trump it. You know what I'm saying? When you look at 1 Corinthians 13, it's going to trump it. What made me click, I think she would listen to a Keisha Cole song. This is a woman who's been talking about she's been looking for love her entire adult life.
When the first album, another woman's man.
You know what I'm saying?
Another woman's man.
But like I said, because I was talking about it, like a lot of people have trauma, mental health problems because nobody loved them. Most people have problems because nobody loved them. That's why in this society, the advent of love and seeking for love is so profitable, especially for young women, because most of y'all mamas didn't love you. And you know that she didn't love you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about love you in the purest form, like she's supposed to love. See, there's a difference of raising a child and maintaining one. It's a difference from loving them and showing love time to time. It's a difference. And then because your daddy wasn't there or your mama had a weak man in the house, you believe, especially if they had a weak man, you believe that love from a man is giving you everything you want and putting you on a pedestal. You know what I'm talking about? So then when you run across a man and he don't do that, but he been showing you actual love, you don't perceive that as love because you're looking for something to stoke you emotionally. And that's why many women in this country are miserable, because they have been consumerized and manipulated to desire something that you can never achieve. It's a dangerous, I'm talking about it's dangerous, man, and it's ugly. And you have to have the wisdom and understand to peep the games that's being played. Because if a man love you according to Yahudah, why you care about all this other? Why you think, man, most people want love based off of Instagram and Facebook photos and YouTube videos, music videos, and movies? You know what I'm saying? That means we're living in a constant state of fantasy. We're living in a perpetual movie or music video. And you wonder why the kids are mentally disturbed, emotionally off balance, and immature. Like, man, come on, man. I'm telling you, right? Why you think a lot of women get ran through looking for love? She think if I give him my vagina, he'll love me. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking that he would have already showed you he loved you before you gave him the vagina. The vagina's not going to make him love you, because you're not even looking to see if this man has a genuine care for your well-being. You ain't even looking for that. Most men ain't looking for that. Most men get caught up and dragged by most women because they looking for somebody to love them because they mama ain't love them. Most of us, I'm older. I come from a time period where there were men who never even told their kids that they loved them out loud. But their kids knew that. Now you live in a generation where they want you to do what? Be vulnerable with me and show with me your feelings. For what? For what? Now see this again, these brothers were talking about that. It's a difference for being vulnerable and being transparent. A man should never, we already had this conversation. Remember, I told you what the word vulnerable means. It's expose yourself to physical or emotional harm. Why would I do that? Why would I expose myself to harm? Being transparent is, I lost my job. It's bothering me a little bit. I got to put a plan together. And boom, that's being transparent. That's not, women perceive that as being vulnerable. He shared with me. He wasn't vulnerable. He just made a statement of fact. You know what I'm saying? He just made a statement of fact. That being, I recommend being transparent if something's bothering you. Let her know that, hey, I'm dealing with this here, man. The junk bothering me, man. So she ain't just walk around like this nigga's crazy. Yeah, be transparent, but don't be vulnerable though. Talk to your brothers about that. Keep that. Don't tell her that. She can't do nothing with it anyway. That's what exactly. Why am I set you up? Attack my right flank. Because at the end of the day, if he does it, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing with the information anyway. And of course, we already talked about that. Yahudah didn't be vulnerable with the house of Yasharal. What did he do? He went off by himself, and he prayed to his father. But he did take his brethren with him for strength. But when it came down to the come down, he went over there by himself. See, these harsh realities, man. See, I ain't the one going to tell you paint doggone fairy tales and roses and make you think John Sweet. We have to deal with the harsh realities of life. Life ain't the way that you want it to be. It is what it is. Navigate in what is and not what you want it to be. And your life will be better. Matthew chapter 1. See, I know that junk also sound like, well, dang, what is the woman for? No, I'm not your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But also, like it's here, right? Depending on your how you conduct yourself, it's like it's here. See, most of y'all, this is how she meant. Most of y'all be wanting to talk, but you don't say you want to talk. You just want a nigga to walk in and come talk instead of just saying, "Hey, I like to talk," or "There's something I like to discuss." How many of you do that? Well, Shayla said, "I do," but most women y'all be like this here. So is this nigga gonna talk to me or what? Probably not. Not if you don't say nothing. That nigga sit there in his own zone. Because 9 times out of 10, nigga mind be on a multitude of things. Nigga really ain't just sitting there blank like, is it raining today? No, nigga think about a lot of different stuff. A lot of like, you might think it, dang, that, like I said, that nigga scrolling or doing this here, that nigga, that junk just in front of his face. That nigga mind is in another place. I know y'all don't believe that, but you just heard these men. Now they could be right there looking at this here, ain't thinking about none of that junk he looking at. I think like, dang, boy, I got this job tomorrow, man, and this doggone bill coming through, boy, and this cracker owe me by $20,000. I need to get that bread from him, because I need to take it over here. Dang, that nigga tripping on that pole, but I still need this money though. You know what I'm saying? He multitasking in his brain. But if you came and say, baby, I need to holler at you about something, you think, oh, I don't want to talk to you, woman. He gonna be like, well, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What you want to talk about? Y'all don't realize that. If you want to talk, you just say, baby, I'd like to have a conversation. Y'all be sitting there looking at it. Is this nigga gonna start talking to me? You're gonna be upset. It ain't gonna never happen. It ain't gonna happen. That nigga gonna keep sitting there looking at you like, that nigga that tripping. She look like she bad. She probably want to talk. I ain't gonna say nothing until she say something. Shoot, I'm gonna go in the back. I'm telling you, you see the boy. I'm trying to tell you the truth. I'm trying to tell you the truth. Make your life easy. Because if you don't talk to him, he ain't gonna talk to you. You be like, but he talked to his friends though. Because shoot, they called me and say what's happening. Because you know what the worst part is? If you had a man, he came in the house and he would chatty patty, you'd be like, I wish this whole nigga shut up. You would though. If he really gave you what you wanted and talked to you like the level that you say you wanted him to talk to you, you'd be upset. You'd be upset. Girlfriend. And had a theme song played in the back. Girlfriend. All that. That's what she did. I ain't saying that's what. Yes, sir. Can I have what? Go. I'm just saying that because a lot of the times the stuff that y'all say you want, you don't really want when you get it. Like I get it, you want to have a conversation, but if a nigga gave you the conversation all the time, you gonna get on your phone. This nigga, he go this old talking nigga. Talking nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what you gonna say. Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. The book of generations of Yahushua HaMashiach. The son of who? David. The son of who? Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac. Isaac begat Jacob. Jacob begat Judah and his brethren. Judah begat Phares and Zerah of Tamar. Phares begat Esrom. Esrom begat Aram. Aram begat Aminadab. Aminadab begat Naasson. Naasson begat Solomon. Solomon begat Boaz. Boaz Rachab. Boaz begat Obed. Ruth. Obed begat Jesse. Jesse begat David the king. Notice it made difference that you know that David is the what? And David the king begat Solomon of her that had been Uriah's. Notice that they didn't make mention that Solomon was king. He wasn't the original. Because why is that? Let me pause for a second so y'all can get some understanding. I know we need to stop so we can get out of here. Matter of fact, we're going to stop right now. Why is it important that it mentioned that that David was king but not Solomon? It referenced twice. That's all out. That's accurate information. It's another piece of information.
Would it be because what he did at the end, Solomon?
Oh no. This is the reason why, right? Saul, what tribe was he?
Benjamin.
Who picked Saul?
The people picked him.
The people picked Saul. What tribe is David? Did he say that this is Yahudah and whom I chose? So David is the first king of Judah. Like all the just out the house of Judah, period. He the first king of Judah. There was no other king in Judah before him. And the only reason there were kings in Joseph and Ephraim is because of Solomon and his wives. Because if Solomon had never done that, there would have only been kings from the tribe of Judah. There would have been no other kings from any other tribe. You know what I'm saying? But Yahudah willing, next week, because we got to go further. We got to, like we say, got to take a deep dive on this one. Let's elevate to a higher plane. But hallelujah for Yahushua, man. We got to get out of here. We got a baptism to do. Again, if you haven't done it, 1 Chronicles chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hello? The ones you already read with the genealogy. I'm just missing this, put them on the screen. 1 Chronicles chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Along with Genesis 5. And of course, your Matthew 1 and Luke 3. Because now we're going to have to take more. We're going to be examining David, because that is the tribe which he chosen, along with the resemblance of a king. Because David will be our focal point of this. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Bless y'all. The house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahudah willing. On Wednesday, we'll pick it up and do it again.
See, you got that MetaMask on there, bro. You got that MetaMask, bro. You got,